Good afternoon, everyone from Kaunas, UNESCO Creative City of Design and the Future European Capital of Culture 2022. We are starting the live broadcast, the international panel discussion organized by UNESCO Creative Cities of Design Network under the title, The Power of Design in Responding to Global Crisis and Affecting Change. My name is Jurate Tutlite. I am focal point of Kaunas UNESCO City of Design and Design Program Curator at Kaunas 2022. And I will be moderating today's session, where UNESCO Cities of Design will share current issues and COVID-19 emergency design practices that inspire people around the world. We ask question, what is the role of design in the world in crisis? How design can help communities around the world to deal with today's challenges, to adapt, stay safe, and keep connected during these unprecedented times. What design and designers can do in rebooting the world. More than 10 inspiring cases will be interactively presented today by members from different cities around the globe: Europe, South Africa, Brazil, Canada, Australia, Southeast Asia, and China. Our session will consist of main two parts: brief discussion and design case presentation. You are all welcome to get involved. Please leave your comments and questions here in comment area. We will try to answer them at the very end of the session live or later on by email. So before we start, let's welcome, and please welcome all 40 cities in UNESCO Creative Cities of Design Network that are waving at you and saying hello. Hello to everyone. Okay, and now I am honored to invite Denise Bax, UNESCO Head Communication, Cities and Event Unit Culture Sector, to say a welcome word on behalf of the UNESCO Creative Cities Network. Please, Denise, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jurate, and sorry, but it seems that my camera doesn't work from home. But thank you very much for giving me the floor. Dear UCC and member cities of design, dear friends, it is once again my pleasure to welcome you all to the panel discussion on design responses to COVID-19, goods, services, and systems places the power of design in responding to global crisis and affecting change. Since its creation, UNESCO Creative Cities Network provides an international platform for exchange and collaboration amongst cities. In recent years, these objectives has been further propelled under the global context for the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals. More than ever, particularly in times of the current crisis, solidarity and cooperation are key towards finding new solutions and responses. As I mentioned before, being a platform of exchanges, the UCCN has provided its members the opportunity to share their good practices as well as learn from each other. Building such collaborations is at the core of the network's mission. In mid-March, UNESCO launched a global call to all our member cities to collect and disseminate innovative culture-led measures that leverage the power of culture and creativity and complement other city-led efforts in response to the COVID-19. Today, we have been receiving more than 70 contributions from cities around the world that are experiencing different stages of the health crisis. The collected responses display how cities have not only responded to the immediate crisis, but also developed capacities amongst youth, artists, cultural stakeholders to further propagate the importance of culture and creativity in the recovery phase and beyond. Based on all of these responses we received, I can clearly point out that these initiatives have addressed a wide range of urban issues related to education, sciences, technology, creative economy, support artists, social inclusion, and assistance to disadvantaged groups. This is perfectly in line with today's discussion topic on how design has supported cities in responding to global crises. Among the 12 responses received from the Creative Cities of Design, I would like to mention a few initiatives. Curitiba in Brazil. Curitiba mobilized its expertise in design and innovation to start producing 3D printed face shields to protect health professionals working on the front line of the pandemic. Saint-Étienne in France mobilized the Cité du Design, a platform for higher education, research and promotion of design and arts, and launched a call for posters to graphic design as part of the project COVID-19 Solidarity and Support between UNESCO Creative Cities of Design. In Beijing, China, to provide effective health services to its inhabitants in response to the pandemic, the city of Beijing has launched a dedicated online medical consultation platform for COVID-19, gathering more than 1,000 doctors and 5 hospitals located across the city. At the cluster level, I am pleased to share with you the cities of Detroit and Utrecht, who joined their efforts to launch a collaborative initiative tracking programs and projects from the UNESCO Creative Cities of Design that leverage design and innovation to cope with the current situation. These initiatives highlight the crucial need to further enhance and reinforce cooperation amongst cities by sharing good practices. This initiative recalls the need to initiate new partnerships as well as to promote co-creation and design thinking to inspire and better respond to the fast evolving situation. UNESCO considers culture and design, media arts, among others, as key actors in supporting the city's wide responses to the COVID pandemic. As this crisis has impacted different aspects of our society, our response needs to be collective and coordinated, which incorporates the essential components of culture. Sharing good practices, concrete measures, as well as mutual learning as crucial to better react to the immediate challenges, but also to shape local policies and stimulate more urban innovative actions in the post-COVID-19 recovery phase. In this regard, I'm very pleased to inform you that we are finalizing an e-publication to further disseminate these initiatives that we are being collected to inspire different cities network and stakeholders groups beyond the UNESCO Creative Cities Network, including other UNESCO cities covered by the UNESCO Cities platform. I would like to thank you all for your kind attention and wish you a very fruitful discussion and a good meeting. Thank you very much, Jurata, and thank you very much to all of you. And sorry for my camera.
Okay, but we heard you very well. Thank you, Denise, very much. Actually, some of the examples that you have mentioned in your speech, we will present today as well. So let us move on. And now I would like to turn to actually the network and invite coordinators and initiators of Cities of Design subnetwork to talk actually about the role cities are taking in making design work. So let me introduce the panel members. Ellie Schneider, coordinator for the Cities of Design subnetwork, director, Detroit City of Design and Design Core. Hello, Ellie.
Hello, Jurate. Thank you for organizing this and hosting us.
Stein De Bailey, Deputy Coordinator, UNESCO Cities of Design, Managing Director, Design Regio Kortrijk. Welcome, Stein. Eberhard Schrammt, Creative Industries Styria, Managing Director. Hello, Eberhard.
Hello, everybody. Nice to meet you.
And Marie-Josée Lacroix, Design Commissioner, Head of the Montreal Design Bureau, Cité of Montreal. Happy to have you with us, Marie.
Bonjour tout le monde. Hi, everyone.
Okay, Elie, since you have been serving as a coordinator for the Cities of Design subnetwork already for 4 years, could you please briefly present us the network and the meaning, the essence of it? What is the mission and what the mission now in the pandemic world?
Sure. So the UNESCO Design Cities Network is part of a larger Creative Cities Network that was formed in 2004, with the idea being that there is value in the intangible culture in our cities. So whether that's literature, music, gastronomy, or design, the intangible culture has real value to really developing our authentic identity as a city and to improving the quality of life for all of the people who live in that city. So the network is 40 cities that are specifically looking at design. And though we each have our own unique design community, our own assets, and our own challenges, we also share so much in common. Design is inseparable from our experience in cities, whether it's the built environment, the way that city systems are delivered and experienced by the residents who live there, and the products, goods, and services that help us to move around and improve and experience life in our cities. So there's not really a question of whether or not design matters in cities. It's really what is the role of design. And I think in a lot of cities, design can be something that further exacerbates inequality and is focused on luxury. But this network is very focused on this idea that design is actually about, at its very base level, providing a good quality of life for all people and that everyone deserves good design. So this network is a great way for us to exchange ways that we're experimenting with design in a local level, but it also gives us an opportunity to collaborate across borders, across continents, to evolve different initiatives and to have each of them developed through our collaborative efforts, and to also exchange the challenges that we all experience. We have a lot of successes, but a lot of times what we learn most is from our failures. And having this community of global leaders who are all trying to advance these same missions in our own communities is such an excellent resource for us, especially in a time like right now. We are all supposed to be together in Santos, Brazil for our annual convening. And while it's really unfortunate that we can't physically be together, it's just been so wonderful to see this network really come to action and organize and figure out a way to stay connected and to stay in communication right now.
Thank you, Ellie, very much. And talking about the challenges, I would address Steen. As a deputy coordinator, you actually were among initiators to start sharing the COVID-19 emergency design practices among the network city. So why did you thought it is important, and why it's important to stay connected in critical times like this?
Well, actually, this COVID-19 crisis is something globally. In the end, we're all in the same situation, and we all want to protect our citizens, keep the economies going. So we all have it's very valuable to share these best practices with each other. What we see now is that the different regions are in different stages. Some regions are still in lockdown, some have restarted, others are facing the second wave. Since this is happening in different places into the world, we can share our best practices on how we cope with these situations in a specific stage. And we believe that designers can play a very big role in finding solutions to these problems, because designers have the ability to look for solutions and keeping also the end user in mind. And in this situation with COVID, the end user can be a nurse, it can be a doctor, it can be a senior person, but it can also be an entrepreneur. I think that our organizations, as I sometimes call them design activists, it's our duty to show to the governments or to any organization that designers can really play a vital role in finding these solutions. And by bringing all these solutions together now in this virtual convening, we really want to share these best practices to create a positive impact in any region and any city.
Thank you, Steen. But let us talk about the past. Maybe is this the momentum cooperation among the cities, or is it the cooperation lasted for long? So that's why I would like to address the Eberhard, because he is a former coordinator of the network. And Eberhard, could you give us examples about how does network work in practice? Maybe share some examples, experiences from the past and joint and common projects?
Yes, thank you. When we started, we were not that many. We are like now we are 40 cities, and it's even hard to work together. So, but when we started 10 years ago, or even longer, we decided to create a common website. We found out that it needs a kind of communication platform to be seen, to know what the other cities do, to give them a visibility in a way of what is relevant for the international design community. And so we decided in 2013 at the Chengdu annual meeting of the UNESCO to create a common website for the design cities. And we started in 2014. I think we were about 20 cities at that time with that project. And that was quite a long way to get there where we are today, because you have to know each other, you have to learn from each other. Every city has another system, and every city is different. And at the same time, we share the same the same goals. So, for example, I created then in 2016 the so-called pizza model. Thinking of a pizza, everybody knows that, but you know, there you can put on this pizza all variations of what we have. So, and it's a little bit like that. We have to see the cities of design, because every city puts another focus. So we have a common focus on, we share knowledge, we promote design, we share a common market, we support and we connect. So this gives the whole, the basis of this kind of pizza. And then we had about 17 different things. You can find it on the common website, designcities.net. To know more about the programs in the cities. So for some reason, it's maybe from interest, does a city have a fashion week? Does the city have a design center? Do they are they human design oriented? Are they more in development of the city oriented, and so on? And so therefore, this was a good model to find out the basic streamline of the city. And this was, I think that was an important step. Another project together we did was the Worldwide Things collection, to give benefit to the designers from the cities, because we have always think on our clients. Our clients are the designers and the design community, so we have to work for them and to give them visibility and to give them benefits, to create benefits for them. It's also a project shared on the website. So now Detroit, Saint-Étienne, Puebla, Mexico City, Istanbul, Montreal, Singapore, and Graz designers are presenting about 300 products on this platform, where you can get in contact with with the creators, with the designers. You can order the products. It's an online platform, and it's an online collection with typical design goods designed in these cities. Or another example, and that's my last one, is this one. You see that the book is about Detroit, Graz, Istanbul, Mexico City, and Puebla, and it contains 7 research projects out of urban planning and social design projects in the book. It's brand new, just released. And things like this never would happen if there wouldn't be that relationship. So I'm really a fan of that network, and I found also new friends.
Good to hear. It's true, the network is constantly growing, and I think it's a great challenge to find the platforms, the ways you can communicate, right? And to find the common language about the design that we speak, which is a very broad notion. Yeah. Okay, and thank you very much. And then I would like to address Marie-Josée. Marie, your city, Montreal, was among the very first ones appointed as UNESCO City of Design back in 2006, right? And,
That's right.
And you yourself, as a senior leader, I've been called like a heart and soul of the network. So can you tell us what does that designation bring to your city? I mean, in other words, what's the value of the city for the city to be in the network, and what are responsibilities from the other point or perspective? And even more, what's the difference between being the city of design and acting as a city of design?
Yeah, this is a crucial question. Thank you, Jurate, and hello to everyone. I'm very happy to be with all of you, even if it's extremely early for me. And it's very late for some of you. So, well, actually, as you said, we've been appointed in 2006, and the whole network was created in 2004. So we were the third city in the design field to be appointed after Buenos Aires and Berlin, and the first city in North America. And at that time, we were only, well, actually, we were 9 cities in the UCCN network, all clusters, and until 2008. So it was really small, as Eberhard said. At that time, it was much easier to have cross-cluster conversations. We always took this title not as a label, but more as an invitation from UNESCO to take advantage of the huge talents. We have a lot of talents in Montreal, and we thought that we have been appointed as a UNESCO City of Design thanks to these talents and to the design assets that we had. And it was an invitation, more than a brand or a label, it was more an invitation to have these talents contribute to help us to build a better city. So, so we were recognized as a UNESCO City of Designer, more as a UNESCO City of Design, and to become a UNESCO City of Design was our project. So this is a bit how we took it in the beginning. And it brought us a lot because, in fact, thanks to this designation, we got a long-term commitment from the city's administration, both the top management and the elected official. A long-term commitment to support the design ecosystem, so to put money into it, to secure human and financial resources dedicated to this sector. And even if there are elections and change of political team, we had 3 major changes since 2006. It secured the fundings. A commitment also to act as an exemplary client. And I think it's really something extremely important for us to be ethical when we procure design commissions, to be demanding in terms of quality and innovation. And also, I would say it's a commitment to officially and publicly value and promote the benefits of quality design as a source of well-being for citizens and a source of long-term sustainability, resilience, and performance for the city. So, well, as you all said, well, it's the connection with experts that share the same responsibilities than we do in different cities. It's really valuable, so we can share. and learn from each other good and bad experiences and accelerate our own development to better act locally. So I would say that we got a lot of tangible outputs. If I summarize, thanks to this recognition, the Montreal Design Bureau was created. Design became a political responsibility, which is really something important. It's officially, design is officially given to an elected official member of the executive, the city's executive committee. Just like culture, economic development, transportation, urban planning, design is now a political responsibility. Our team expanded. In fact, our funding have grown and been maintained. Our mission expanded also from promoting design to the private sector to integrating design into within the municipal system, which is a big challenge actually. And lately, I must say that thanks to this designation, I think Montreal adopted its very first design policy. It's called the 2030 Montreal Design Agenda. And it's really a strong advocacy in favor of quality and exemplary design and architecture. And this is probably the most valuable achievement that we were able to get thanks to being part of this network and being appointed. Of course, everything is always fragile. I would conclude saying that we cannot take anything for granted, and we always have to be extremely careful. So now the challenge is really to implement this agenda, and to and this means to really change our design, to implement a design culture within the city, and to change all our processes and the way we do things. But we really believe that with the adoption of this agenda, now we can be proud of this designation. We deserve it now, and it's well deserved, yes. And we can be proud of the progress that we've made. So we want to thank all of you that we were really lucky to collaborate with this network, and we are looking forward to more cooperation with the new members.
Okay, thank you, Marie, very much. You did a really great job, and I think that it's a great example for other cities as well. So now I think it's a good moment to invite cities one by one to present their inspiring cases, to showcase their creative and innovative design solutions, those emergency design practices. So we will, I am thankful very much for the panel discussion, the first one. And there will be kind of a short transition break. So please stay with us and we will be back in a minute. Our design case study presentation from UNESCO Creative Cities of Design in response to global crisis. And let me welcome representatives from first 5 cities who will present professional emergency design and architectural solutions, namely Wuhan, China, Geelong, Australia, Montreal, Canada, Singapore, Southeast Asia, and Cape Town, South Africa. Welcome you all. And I would like to start our showcase from Wuhan, the city in design cities, actually a family, probably the most heavily struck by COVID-19 pandemic, where the outbreak began. And the 7th Design Institute is presenting the Lifeboat, temporary cabin hospital, a fast-speed conversion of Chinese Culture Expo Center into a hospital within 72 hours. Let's watch a video.
With the outbreak of COVID-19 at the beginning of 2020, the government decided to convert the City Living Room Culture Expo Center to one of the first temporary hospitals for treating infected patients with minor coronavirus symptoms. In virtue of its large space and capacity, the Expo Center is suitable to be converted in a short time by interior space renovation into a medical unit capable of accommodating a large number of patients, thus quickly achieving normal emergence transformation. The center consists of 4 exhibition halls, 3 of which have been converted into cabin hospitals. The total converted area is 22,000 square meters, and a review of the plan confirms that the plan layout, height, structure, facilities for water supply and drainage, and a power supply of the exhibition halls can meet the requirements for the conversion. The center has 2 squares, respectively in the north and south. The exit for the medical staff is set at the South Square, where also parks the mobile lab, CT testing cars, material cars, firefighting and rescue vehicles of the 80 teams. The north of exhibition halls was used for transporting freight, now to be the routes for patients to check in, sterilize and check out. Vehicles can enter through the road to the east. In this way, the routes for medical team and patients are strictly separated. Key points of building conversion. The first is to set up 3 zones and 2 circulations in compliance with the standards for an infectious hospital. The front square in the south is converted as clean zone with temporary tents, while the front lobby connecting the south square as partially cleaning section and a buffer zone for the medical staff before they enter the wards. The exhibition halls are converted as the infected zone, which is separated by high and low slabs into independent nursing units. The second lies in the sterilization treatment procedure. To protect the safety of the medical staff, a strict procedure for entering and exiting the buffer zone is obeyed. The exhibition hall A is equipped with 600 beds, with 3 entrances and exits. The hall B and C each has 400 beds and 2 entrances and exits. The third is the principle of partition in the hospital. A partition by number of beds and gender is taken into account in the patient's section. The number of beds in every ward cannot be over 42, and high and low slabs are used to effectively block the sight of the patients while facilitating the observation by the medical staff. The fourth is the fast speed conversion. In order to finish the conversion within 3 days, we design on the basis of local conditions in the existing building and try to minimize the civil engineering reconstruction. Containers are assembled for buffer zones and bathroom. Prefabricated fire retardant slabs are purchased to set up on site to separate the wards. Existing mobile toilets are to be adjusted for use. It is the coordinated efforts between departments of design, construction, fire control, environmental protection, electricity and telecommunication in 72 hours that made the quality compliant temporary cabin hospitals converted on time. As patients are treated in the temporary hospitals, they show their optimistic spirit and fortitude, and also give us a chance to appreciate the value of design. The design of converting temporary cabin hospital started on February 3, and the draft was out on February 5. On February 7, it began to receive patients and was closed on March 8, with a capacity of 1,460 beds It accommodated and treated 1,760 patients. At the peak, 1,434 patients were being treated in the hospital. It was the Noah's Ark that treated most patients with the highest efficiency during the hardest time of the pandemic.
Together with us is Ms. Lee, the Chief Architect of the project, Chief Architect at the 7th Design Institute, CITIC General Institute of Architectural Design and Research Company. Welcome, Ms. Lee and Xiao, who will help us with the translation. So the project seemed to be of an extraordinary speed and power. How did you make it happen? Any specific processes, methods used? And by the way, what is the current situation? Is a hospital being used as a hospital? And what about the future? Will it be reconverted back to Expo Center? So please, can you briefly share that with us? I'm ready. Unfortunately,
okay, thank you for asking. As for the situation in Wuhan right now, the city is pretty much back to normal.
I'm so sorry, but I think we're having some technical issues with the network and cannot hear neither Ms. Lee nor Xiao. So thank you very much for your collaboration. I think we need to step in with the next example. Thank you very much. And next that I wanted to be presented is Geelong, which will show an amazingly ingenious solution, a live visitor pod constructed for multicultural aged care services. So watch the video.
Innovation has always been at the forefront here at Max, and we're actually a creative bunch, and I'm really proud of this one because we've created the Max Visitor Pod.
Well, when I first saw Stan and the smile on his face that he had, just glowed, and of course that became infectious for me, and I had to just almost cry. The actual physical contact by seeing him through a window was very emotional.
Not being able to see Nonna for quite some time has been hard, so being able to see her as soon as I got the opportunity, that was going to happen for sure. Yeah, it's been great.
It's just wonderful, especially with all the windows. It was just so open. I didn't expect it to be so well done.
Smiling face rather than just being on the phone.
Yeah, yeah.
Every day is a new day.
It's pretty special to be able to see my mother. She's 91, and it's been quite a few weeks now, and you always wonder, will I ever get to see them again? So
I'm really grateful to set this all up. I feel like they've put a lot of work into it, and it's just such a good idea. So,
yeah. Thank you, Max.
Max is quite ahead of the curve, I think, when it comes to innovation and ideas, and this is no exception.
Our residents and families are everything here to us at Max, and caring for them is just so important. This Visitors Pod is one of the ways in which we can ensure that human connection continues. We really want things to get back to normal here as soon as they possibly can, but we want to keep our residents safe, and that's the most important thing for us. So we hope this Visitors Pod will allow us to achieve that.
I would like you to present Joy Lego, the lady you saw in the video, and the Chief Executive Officer at Multicultural Aged Care Services. Joy, can you tell us how did you come up with such a simple and so touchy solution? I mean, whose idea was it? Who's behind the implementation? And because I know you have an exciting story to tell us.
It was, good evening, everyone from Australia. We're all different time zones, I believe. It was an idea for us because we knew the importance of human connection and staying connected when we had to keep our residents safe. So that was our primary purpose. But keeping in touch with families was paramount for us and for the staff and for our families. So there was a group of staff that were discussing how we're going to do this if we need to restrict visitors into the facility. And someone just happened to raise about, what about a container? And then from there, the ideas just flowed. We fortunately had an amazing builder who has done a lot of work for us, where we didn't have any architects involved, but we had a builder that had a passion and knew how important that connection was. We wanted to make the container a welcoming place to come, a place that was airy, that had a hearing loop in it, so the hearing impaired could hear, that the doors were wide enough so that we could get comfort chairs in, so those people that could no longer walk were able to still see their relatives. They could still celebrate birthday parties. They could still connect. And it's been a wonderful success. And very many happy people have been kept in touch because the fear of being apart and not seeing someone is very distressing. And our organisation in Geelong has a total of 66 different nationalities. So it's having just that language connection also is so vitally important to our residents. We've celebrated birthdays in the pod. You know, puppy dogs have come in and visited, grandchildren, new babies have been able to come in and visit in the pod, where normally we wouldn't be able to allow that sort of thing during this pandemic phase. So it's been a very heartfelt and special thing to do. And thanks to our builder and the staff who embraced it, and we just went for it, and we went for it really quickly. We knew we needed to do something really. We needed to be nimble and adapt really quickly to do this, and it's been really very well received. And I appreciate the City of Greater Geelong for acknowledging our work. We never thought it would get the response that it has, and being part of this UNESCO Cities of Design.
Thank you, Joy, very much. As soon as the image floated into the network, I guess it was one of the most interesting and touchy, example floating around, as a good example, how to keep people stay connected and safe. So thank you very much. I think we are saying then now move to Montreal. Thank you. And to hear the great story about how city innovate and to consolidate these creative forces of design and architecture professionals, right, to respond to new requirements in public spaces. So let's move to video.
Hello, my name is Sylvie Champeau. I work for the Design Bureau at the Economic Development Department of the City of Montreal in Quebec, Canada. I'm here to talk to you about the request for qualification process we have launched a month ago. Given the COVID-19 pandemic, the lifting of the lockdown, the summer season, and the resumption of business activities, the many challenges related to health and social distancing measures require creative and innovative solutions to rethink the use of public spaces, and especially on commercial streets. We thought that pre-selecting a group of qualified and available designers would allow the city to be more agile in awarding design contracts by mutual agreements as opposed to traditional public tendering. Given the experimental nature of the not-so-temporary COVID-19 measures, it also seemed important to make good use of a range of different solutions that could be deployed throughout the city while developing a collective intelligence as the UNESCO City of Design on a more long-term basis. We launched a call among the community in order to create a pool of design teams that consist of professionals in all fields of design and architecture that have the capacity, the experience, and the skills to design and carry out temporary urban street projects. In doing so, we are helping our boroughs and city departments in a way that allows them to easily call on designers to design and implement measures that address issues such as new route configurations, waiting lines for businesses, outdoor sales and consumption areas, pickup and delivery spaces, rest areas, street furniture, signage, etc. We wanted this process to be inclusive since it fosters the awarding of contracts to Montreal designers. So we made sure to invite all of them, including those of the next generation, by giving them the opportunity to team up and get involved in the economic recovery of Montreal. Now, let's talk about how this process works. Our request for qualification is not linked to a specific project, but to many eventual COVID-19 design laboratories projects. The call was aimed at multidisciplinary design and architecture teams, which could be composed of different entities, which were given 2 weeks to team up and fill out an online survey providing they met the 7 criteria you will find on our website. Now, using this pool is as easy as 1, 2, 3. First, you randomly select at least 3 teams from the pre-qualified teams. Second, you conduct a 45 minutes remote interview. And third, you award the contract to the team with the best qualities, experience, skills, capacity, and understanding of your project. Now, let's talk about our results. Here in Montreal, 74 teams gathering 153 businesses took part in our request for qualification. 57 teams representing 76 different businesses are actually pre-qualified and listed on our website. 2 weeks ago, 3 of them were selected through an electronic random draw. Following the remote interview, which proved all the richness of this entire process, one of them was awarded a contract for $85,000 to take part in the first COVID-19 design laboratory project. It consists of a transitional urban design project to take place very soon on East Ontario Street in Mercier-Hochelaga-Maisonneuve Borough. Many other contracts are soon to be awarded following this exact process, or a lighter one, depending on time issues. We at the Design Bureau sure hope this gives you some ideas on how to create work opportunities for your local designers and have them contribute to finding solutions in these very special times. For more information, please visit us on designmontreal.com. Thank you very much.
Let me address Sylvie Champeau, the analyst and control management at City of Montreal's Design Bureau, who presented the Montreal case. And Sylvie, can you briefly summarize why design process in public sector is so important? And what does that mean for a city to become a good design client?
Yes, with pleasure. Actually, the easy answer, Durate, is because good design outcomes result from good processes. As a city of design, we must respond to both of these components in order to achieve our vision, which is being an exemplary city that puts forward the quality in design and architecture to the benefit of its citizens. In planning and designing a city through sustainable action, the primary goal must be to ensure the quality of the objects, buildings, and urban spaces that compose it, and that contribute to the comfort and well-being of our residents. So basically, it is a matter of social responsibility towards our current citizens, but also for our future generations. So this is where design processes can help the public sector in providing solutions to complex problems where many inputs and concerns need to be resolved. And we can address that, especially now with this pandemic crisis. So in our city, we have proven, in our city and many cities, it has been proven that competitive design processes, for example, can generate new design ideas or seek solutions to complex problems, as opposed to seeking generic solutions at the lowest possible cost. Other processes such as design review or design panels can offer independent, impartial, and expert advice on the design of buildings, infrastructures, landscapes, and public spaces. And so procurement approaches, such as the one presented on the video, can have a significant impact on design. In this area, we found out with our recent request for qualification process that was put forward because of the COVID-19 crisis, that making it easy and more accessible for our boroughs and departments, city departments, to hire the right designers for the right project in order to solve complex problems such as commercial street, temporary urban planning in times of pandemics, makes a huge difference and a positive impact. In all cases, I must say the key to good design is engaging designers early in the process, as early as possible. Selecting the right design team is also critical to the long-term success of a project. And time is always an issue. Allowing enough time for the project, yes, but also to select a team that is capable of delivering project ambitions and the city's objective is key to creating a good working relationship. There are many, everything is about process. The briefing documents, so important, like to give it reinforces the ambitions, the objectives, and the needs of the project without, of course, falling into the risk of prescribing a solution or specific for the entire project to the designer. Process is also about consulting. The stakeholder and community involvement in project is, in definition, contributes to more considered and inclusive proposals better suited to place and people. Documents in the form of design guides, manuals, and case studies. It supports good process by outlining best practices and ways to understand projects. Case studies can highlight project successes as well as lessons learned for the benefit of future projects. And to answer your second question, Jurati, what does that mean for a city to become a good design client? Well, basically, it's to be able to do all this and be convinced already of the added value of design, considering it as an investment and not a cost.
Thank you, Sylvie. I think it's a very good example. I wish it could be universalized and transmitted to other cities as well. But on the other hand, we have seen in the case of the Geelong that maybe we don't need a designers. The community are very good designers indeed. So maybe there are many ways, but this way is absolutely undeniable. I mean, the process is so important in all of our cities, I should say. So thank you, Sylvie, very much for sharing this example. And now we will move to the fourth, the Singapore case. And I would like to shift from the spatial design, so to say, to product design. And I'm really happy to present innovative hood solution by Singapore inventors project under the title X Hood. So watch the video. Let me introduce the main initiator of the project, Li Tse, the co-founder and director at Stuck Design Company, And I would like to address you with a few questions as well. Can you tell us more about the design and collaborative process as well you underwent to come up with this, I should say, remarkably designed innovation, and how the project has evolved and maybe it's still evolving? What are the plans for the future?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes,
Hi,
we can hear you
Yurati.
now.
Okay, pardon the technical difficulties. Thank you for the opportunity to be part of this global dialogue. I think I got to set the facts straight. It was the team. It's actually a team-led effort. At the onset of the COVID pandemic, our friends, our collaborators, and clients in the healthcare and medical sectors, they start feeding us their challenges through the grapevine, and they tell us these are some of these challenges that they are facing on the ground. And as designers, we have this, we feel the ethical obligation to implement design that improve lives in whatever small ways possible, from our local standpoint, but hopefully with global impact. So kind of the genesis of this Xhood project is actually one of 6 projects that the team has put out in the span of, I think, the first 6 to 8 weeks of the COVID situation in Singapore. So what the studio did is we put out an open call through social media and other platforms for a free call for design challenges that will help the medical sector, things that might improve challenges that they are facing, which arise from the COVID pandemic. And what happened is the team were working from home and finding out ways to try and solve all these challenges. And we found that it makes sense to be part of the Open COVID Pledge, where the Creative Commons also put a platform to have this new intellectual property put on an open platform for anybody, basically the local and global community to use. So I think the team as design innovators, we know that our skill sets are useful for many of these different experiments, and we wanted to respond in a responsible manner to put these capabilities within the team to good use. And as a design innovation team, we know that in Singapore, everyone is putting their efforts together to chip away at the pandemic challenge, especially the medical frontliners. And the thing is, they understand the human problems firsthand, and they fill in the blind spots, our blind spots as designers in these large and complex issues like this. So the Xhood is one of those challenges that came out of that project. And the really interesting part of working in this time is typically in a design innovation project, in a typical medical project, it takes years for development and these incremental medical trials and testing. So with medical projects which started maybe 8 years back and are just about to hit the market, and what happens working during this current scenario is that the speed of testing and getting directly to users is so immediate. It's really gratifying for the team. The team working on the different projects get to liaise directly with the medical professionals. They get to test some of these solutions, and we get to see the impact of some of these things. So I think from a creation standpoint, that's really fulfilling. For this Xhood project, currently where it's at now, it's in the process of optimizing. It started off as a way of dealing with patient transfer to contain droplets, so that what happened in the medical situation was they had to sanitize the whole corridors every time a patient is moved from one location to the other. And we were trying to actually address that current situation with this solution. But as this starts to build and starts to get tested or feedback from various different agencies and also different partners, we realized that actually the ask starts to evolve, and the project also needs to adapt. We have users asking for, can you make it work with assisted respirators so that they can wear it for longer durations? We also get medical professionals from different adjacent domains, such as dentistry, where they say, hey, we actually aren't frontline workers, but we are somewhat essential care workers, and we still want to do our jobs, but we don't have anything to be able to protect ourselves. We can't wear their head-worn medical accessories, and this hood actually allows them to do so in a safe way, so long as it works with a respirator. So these are the developments that the team has been working on, trying to fine-tune these different things. And as we build, we realized that we get a lot of requests from schools, from educators, from universities, and it's nice that using this open platform, we are able to share information with them so that they can, take that base and build off of it and improve on it as well.
Oh, really great. When it will be ready for the market? I mean, can we?
Well, it's actually being tested right now. So we do have various healthcare workers using some of the various designs. The X hood is being trialed by dentists at the moment. I think at a commercial scale, maybe it'll take some time for it to ramp up, but the refinements are almost done. So I would say within a couple of months, it should be able to be distributed at least beyond the testing scale.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, great lady. I wish you all the best with the project. And the last to be presented in this section is a Cape Town, the design-driven initiatives of the Crafts and Design Institute. So here we are. Let's watch the video.
Hello from our beautiful city, Cape Town, the first UNESCO City of Design in Africa and World Design Capital 2014. Since the advent of our democracy in 1994, design has helped rebuild, reconnect, and reposition our city. We believe inclusive design can transform lives and build a better, more resilient city for all. It can spark innovation, inspire hope, and improve people's lives. The COVID-19 crisis has emerged as a disruptive opportunity to demonstrate the importance of creativity and design-led innovation. This adds value across diverse sectors and within communities, especially in areas of great need. Africa has never been short of entrepreneurial and creative spirit. We believe that people who innovate due to necessity and survival have the inherent ability to conquer many obstacles and succeed. After all, the innate African spirit makes a workable plan with very limited resources. Globally, design-led innovators, scientists, and medical professionals are suddenly united through the common goal to find innovative and appropriate solutions and support for communities and sectors in desperate need. COVID-19 has inspired many creative and appropriate solutions in Cape Town, including the following few great examples. These are driven by creative practitioners in partnership and inspire hope while improving lives, which is truly what we all need right now. The Craft and Design Institute, also known as the CDI, supports the development of individual creative practitioners and creative businesses. In response to the COVID-19 emergency, the CDI has pivoted to providing its support services online through its recently launched online learning platform and its marketing platform called Peak. To drive much-needed income to some of its over 5,600 members, the CDI established a mask makers database of producers able to apply their skills, time, and equipment to produce cloth face mask and hand sanitizer. The Mask Makers database is 250 strong and can collectively produce 450,000 masks per week. Open Design Africa is an inclusive, collaborative platform that educates, inspires, demonstrates, and celebrates the role, power, and impact of creativity across diverse sectors like communication, mobility, education, and healthcare. Open Design partnered with the Makers community to roll out the Makers for the Children's Hospital BackaBuddy crowdfunding campaign in Cape Town. This campaign is still active and more donations are desperately needed. The project is driven by the Makers Station in consultation with the Red Cross War Memorial Children's Hospital to develop and deliver open source emergency personal protection equipment and other medical solutions based on the needs identified by the hospital. Examples include 1,000 clear face shields, 270 mask fitter frames that are individually shaped and 3D printed for each individual to secure greater comfort and a tight fit to optimize the safety of all medical staff. 50 social distance room dividers are also included, and the first prototype is currently being tested and refined. MakerStation also produced 180 Scurrel Wash mobile hand sanitizing bottles to keep waste pickers and the homeless safe in and around their community. A video that includes easy steps to make more was shared on social media to encourage others to produce the same and hand out to support the most vulnerable in other areas. Other examples include Cape Town's unique response to COVID-19 through the CAN movement and the Sentinel Ocean Alliance organization, which is a surf school in Hout Bay, who has gone big to feed their most vulnerable families.
Let me introduce Erika Elk, CEO of the Craft and Design Institute, who is presenting the project. Erika, we saw so many inspiring initiatives in the video, but can you briefly let us know what is the real situation with the design and design communities and small creative businesses at the moment in South Africa, and what has been changed, and what do you think will be changed for a long?
Hi, Eureka. Thanks for the opportunity to speak. So I think you know, one of the big aspects of the COVID pandemic is the economic impact, and I think that has been particularly significant around the world, and particularly in a country like South Africa, and in fact other developing countries. So what's very important for us in terms of our response as an organization that supports creative professionals and design practitioners is how we help those individual professionals who might be making design products or services, how we actually help them survive the pandemic from an economic point of view. And think about the long-term impact of the kind of the changed circumstance on their business. And so some of what you've seen in the video is how we responded as a design organization in that environment. And it's really been about trying to help access relief for people at an immediate point of view, then working with people to help them try to survive and understand what might the other opportunities that arise from this kind of context be, and then to help them think about the future. I think the reality for us in South Africa, as people who are listening would know, is that we are one of the most unequal countries in the world, and so a pandemic like this actually throws up all the other fault lines in our country. We have people literally who don't have food to eat. We're in the middle of winter, and we have people who live in terrible conditions. And so I think that in a way, what this pandemic, the opportunity it provides for us, is to think about how do we solve for those problems going forward. And in that context, I think there is an enormous role for the design community to play. And I think lots of lessons for us to learn from. In fact, I've been inspired by a lot of what I've heard from some of the other presentations. So it kind of points to the real potential and value of a community like this to share lessons.
Thank you, Erika, so much. I wish you a lot of strength and in implementing and helping your creative communities to move on. Thank you very much. And now there will be a short break before switching to the second part of our case presentation session. So thank you all panelists of this session, and please stay with us. We will be back in a minute. Hello, everyone, once again, already for the third time. And let me welcome representatives from the 5 cities presenting their creative community, this time design solutions. Curitiba, Brazil; Dundee, Scotland; Saint-Étienne, France; Kortrijk, Flanders; Helsinki, Finland. Good to see you all. Okay, and I would like to start with Curitiba case, since UNESCO Creative Cities missed the opportunity actually to meet in Brazil due to pandemic. But let's explore how Curitiba, the city of design, creatively reacted to the situation with a Masks for All project. To the video.
O que uma cidade criativa pode fazer em tempos de pandemia? Nós do Centro Brasil Design, sediados aqui em Curitiba, pensamos em mobilizar os designers, que são os principais ativos de uma cidade criativa, para fazer uma campanha de conscientização da população sobre o uso correto das máscaras. Foi uma ação muito bacana, que teve um alcance nacional e acabou contando com a produção criativa e voluntária de vários designers no Brasil, para que com a sua criatividade fizessem artes para serem replicadas pela internet. Essa campanha deu tão certo e as pessoas puderam ver que o papel do designer de comunicar está também presente num momento de calamidade como esse que estamos vivendo.
O reconhecimento de poetas da língua portuguesa, escolhi como conceito alguns deles, dentre eles alguns da minha cidade, que é Curitiba. Eu basicamente peguei trechos que falam de forma geral sobre a vida, né? Alguns falam sobre a importância da continuidade, da vida continuar, enfim. Então são poetas que trazem dentro da sua poesia um pouco de discussão sobre a vida, sobre a beleza das coisas, darmos continuidade e mantermos essa energia vital que é importante para todos, principalmente na questão da quarentena.
Letizia Castro, Director Superintendent and Brazil Design Center, is here with us today. Letizia, my question for you is how this creative actually fusion of poetics, I should say, and practicality worked in the end with the project. Which effect do you think was stronger, practical or emotional? And how community in the end reacted to your project?
Okay, hello everybody. It's a pleasure to be here sharing with you our masks campaign. It's emotional, of course it was emotional, but the idea of the campaign much more than teaching how to use the mask correctly was to show everybody how important was to use the mask. Our purpose as a Brazil Design Center was to create a movement, show that it was for everyone, that was cool, and more than that, show that it was possible to use creativity to make your own mask at home or buy it from a local producer. Using the power of designers through wonderful images and messages, we could spread the idea all over Brazil, using the posts in social media. But at that time, it was not that simple, as the journal, newspapers, and medias was telling people not to use masks in Brazil, and let the masks to the healthcare professionals that were in the front line. So doing it will not miss masks to them. So the campaign was much more related to promote the idea of doing it yourself at home, using design, creativity, fun, or even better, buying the masks from local producers. Using it, trying to do it, we were focusing in the local economy too. Everyone would be protected and there would be plenty of masks for the health care professionals. In addition, it promoted local commerce. It was a movement that focused on people's emotions and on the influence of renowned graphic designers, and consolidate the concept of our city has always been ahead of its time, using design as a communication tool. People started to post the masks images in the social media. Some other designers asked us to do their own image, and we said, yes, you can send us the image, and we posted it too. And this is really, really related with the spirit of Curitiba, which is a design city, a well-known design city. And we have a good group here that is always working together, trying to build good things, good concepts for the city. So it was not just a Curitiba local movement, but it took over Brazil. As we have had headquarters, the Brazil Design Center have headquarters in Curitiba, but we act nationally. In this pandemic moment, for example, the buses in Curitiba received mask painting too in the front of the buses, and everybody was taking pictures of the buses and was posting in the social media. So yes, it's like an emotional movement. In my point of view, it's the idea of sensitizing people in a funny and creative way, and creating the idea of movement using design and social media. We believe that designers are the key to deal with the change that we will face in the near future.
Thank you, Leticia. Thank you very much. You definitely know how to creatively support the spirit of your community. I wish you would create one mask for UNESCO Creative Cities Network. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's switch to the crowdsourced project, We Dundee, from Dundee. So let's watch video first.
Here in Dundee, we believe that the voice of citizens must be at the heart of the conversation about their future. In 2013, we first launched a citizen sourcing platform, We Dundee, asking the people of Dundee what they would love to see happen in the future of their city. Over 3,000 people, our collaborators, responded, and in the years that followed, many of these ideas have come to a reality. It was clear to us that our cities will undergo massive changes in response to the COVID-19 global pandemic. We Dundee is a way to put the people, places, and values which have shaped our experiences during this time at the heart of that conversation about our future.
So being able to respond quickly with the design and development of We Dundee was particularly key here, given the circumstances. The aim was to engage citizens and allow them to have a voice within the recovery process. We wanted to create an engaging, easy-to-use digital platform, something that could capture people's thoughts during this time, support anyone then to visually design these responses. They don't need to have professional design skills or experience, and they can do all this from the comfort of their own home. Again, something we thought was really, really key. We look back at experiments we've done in the past, particularly around Dundee Design Festival in 2019. Here we took an underused shopping centre space. We collaborated with a bunch of designers from around Scotland, and we created a series of experiments, opened it to the public, and allowed them to experience design in different ways. One of these projects that we did was a unique web-based poster creator platform, and this utilised our own variable font and custom shapes that would allow people to create designs and have them displayed and print them out at the festival. So we took the basics of this system for We Dundee, and we built on it to allow people to respond to a very specific question. In this case, it was about what surprised them during lockdown. Then they were able to design their responses using tools. People have the option to simply enter a text-based answer if they wanted to, or use the creator tools and play with typography and all the visual elements. And it supports anyone to get hands-on with the elements of design without any barriers to entry. People's answers are then displayed on the site, shared through social media, and they're currently being printed in large scale. They're going to be posted around the city to engage returning visitors and help reanimate spaces. We really do believe that if you give people the tools and the freedom to play, explore, and express themselves, they're always going to surprise you.
This is the beginning of the conversation. Together, we will reflect on our experiences, values, and actions during these times, and collectively, we will reimagine our future. If we truly believe that thinking through our future needs everyone to be involved, then we must work to ensure that everyone can take part. Here in Scotland, as lockdown restrictions are easing, so We Dundee will enter its second phase and ask citizens what needs to happen next. And we're excited to get out and about and to test some more analogue ways for our citizens to get involved. We Dundee is a tool to put in the hands of citizens, and as a result, it places their voices at the heart of conversations that directly influence and impact change in their communities and in their city.
Let me introduce you Ryan McLeod, designer at Agency of None. Ryan, as We Dundee is a continuous project started already before pandemic. It has a very inspiring mission to first break the barriers of the design and make it accessible to all, and secondly, to give citizens voice in form of visual expression. How do you think you managed to achieve these goals, and are the people active?
Thanks very much for having me. I think as a city, Dundee is very much trying to empower people through design and sort of, as you say, break down those barriers to entry so they don't need specific skills or software or hardware to get involved. And so the We Dundee platform is all about allowing people to create and respond to what's happened over the sort of the period of effect with COVID-19. And I think we've seen a period where things have obviously changed massively and very differently for lots of different people. So it's kind of really a real opportunity to sort of rethink what the future will look like. And the We Dundee platform allows people to sort of submit their vision of what the future is like. And then that's going to get fed into the cultural regeneration strategy for the city. And it's also a way for us to capture the voices of the citizens and put them in front of the local authority and sort of feed that into the discussion around what that future will look like for the city.
Thank you, Ryan, very much for this colorful initiative with a very serious mission, I should say. Thank you very much. Okay, let's move to Saint-Etienne, the next project, which seems to be also using a design for community as a tool for families and children at this time, for the project called Design and Material Workshop at Home. Let's go to the video. I would like to introduce you Sonia Hejibi, International Affairs Officer at the Cité du Design in Saint-Étienne, responsible for the project. So Sonia, I wanted to ask, the project was very relevant in terms that children had to learn and spend time at home during lockdown. So how many people actually reacted and how many children, families got involved in the project?
Sorry, you hear me?
Yeah,
okay?
now we can hear you. Yeah.
Great. So thank you, Jurat. I'm very glad to be here today. So quickly, I'm going to talk about the missions of the Cité du Design to better understand where this initiatives comes from. So first, rooted in Saint-Étienne, the Cité du Design fulfills 3 complementary missions. First, the school teach art and design within the ESAT, École Supérieure d'Art et Design de Saint-Étienne, to nearly 400 French and foreign students from the preparatory class to the 3rd cycle. The school's pedagogy, innovative in art and design, is nourished by a research of the highest level. Second mission, disseminate design to all audiences, including the Biennale International Design Saint-Étienne. The 12th edition is scheduled for 4 months in 2021 from 28th April to 22nd August, including also editions, conferences, material library, and a shop. The third mission support companies, public institutions, and territories in their reflections, training, and design actions. So in the second mission, Disseminate Design, we find the exhibition and mediation with the aim of democratizing design to make all audiences understand what it is and what it brings. The Biennale International Design Saint-Étienne is known, of course, internationally, but there is also less visible everyday mediation activity. So initially, the initiative launched during the confinement is an offer specially designed for children. The mediation service team offers workshops to sensitize children to the practices and uses of design. Then, students go through experimentation and creation to allow them to observe, question, and exchange about the real world. Bridges with science and other disciplines are also developed, fostering more interdisciplinarity. That's why during the confinement, the Cité du Design decided to continue to involve internet users and continue to talk about design through them by offering families an introduction to design at home via online teaching sheets on the site. The design and materials tutorials offers children to make the model of a chair from a template, so as you saw in the video. The history of the chair is also a history of form, of materials, uses, and you could follow the history of design throughout the different chairs. Easy to do at home, the model can become a one-scale project without nails or screws, but thanks to a nesting system. In fact, this is a simple activity and a playful activity that allows you to share a moment between parents and child and keep connected during this unprecedented time. This initiative was implemented in other formats. So as you saw, design and materials, but it exists also a tutorial of design and graphics, and another one, design and garden. All these workshops are available on our website, the Cité du Design. And to respond to your question, sorry, Jurat, finally, this COVID-19 initiative was a success. For example, on the Facebook page, we reached more than 7,000 people for 1,120 interactions, 73 shares for 290 reactions. So to conclude, we will continue this format until the face-to-face event starts again, and also after, as it's a success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sana, for this joyful example. And I should say that we are almost run out of the time, but please stay with us. And I promise to take no more than 10 extra minutes of yours to finish our all case study presentation. So the next is the case from Kortrijk. The sweet sisters, though tough brothers, The design for life, discovery, and happiness, I might call it like that. So let's watch the video.
Hi Simon, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Tell me a little bit more about yourself.
Hi, I'm Simon from LZSB. We are an organization that organizes all kinds of activities in the public space here in Kortrijk. Can be cinema on a bicycle, concerts, art installations, all kinds of stuff to make the city more colorful and more fun to live in.
Cool. And how was lockdown for you?
Lockdown was special. As we were used to organize stuff in the public space, well, we couldn't do that anymore, so we had to invent something that would be doable for all the people without us being there all the time. So we made a map with all kinds of special places in our city. We saw that a lot of people were walking around and were like discovering all kinds of stuff, and since we had a history with special secret adventurous places in the city, we put it all in a map and we opened it up for everybody to see. There were like, I think 150 places, and it's still growing with all kinds of stuff like the perfect slopes for billy carts, the best climbing trees for the children in the city, foraging spots where you can pick your strawberries and your apples, old courses of rivers that aren't there anymore, but that you can still see some little evidence, like hey, there used to be a river here, and you can see the river in the city if you use your imagination. The best wild swimming spots which isn't allowed here, but places that we think that are safe, special trees.
Is that where you're in a tree right now?
Yes, that is a perfect climbing tree for children. Somebody sent us this place and said that would be like a good place for children to play, so we added it to the map. And we even made a map on special on the children's size, so where all the activities and the spots that you could do are made for children. So we actually have 2 maps, and in total I think about 20,000 people, or 20,000 views. We have 20,000 views of the map, and it's still online.
Okay, and what is the future of the map or the project?
Yeah, we hope to build further on that. We have a lot of ideas on maps, so they can show things that you wouldn't find on any other map. And we want to try to see what we can do with that, make them more durable, that everybody can see it and that it can last into the future to help people discover their own cities and own environments.
Okay, thank you very much for the explanation. Bye-bye.
Bye.
The project today is presented by its developer, the man in the tree, the warrior, as he calls himself, Simon Verscheld, from Sweet Sisters Tough Brothers. So Simon, unofficially you are called a social engineer. Tell us more about this social construction you built during the lockdown for Kortrijk people. And what was the community reaction? How many members, families were involved in your project?
Hi, thanks for having us. Yeah, you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I was just getting another call. The project got about 20,000 views. We're 75,000 people in our city, and we had 20,000 views on the map. We made several maps, one for children and one for everybody, more adult map with more risky or slightly dangerous things. So that's about 20,000 people or views we had on the map. And what was the first question again? Sorry.
Okay, I know that this is an open source as well project. Yeah, you ask people to send ideas, and you prepared more than 160 scouted places.
Yeah.
Am I right? It's a huge number of places to discover, right?
Yes, it's indeed 160 at the moment. Sorry. Sorry. Yep. Question, sorry. I'm slightly...
It's okay, don't worry.
Can you repeat, sorry, the first question again?
Yeah, what was the idea? I mean, what was the construction behind, bringing
the
this
open,
idea?
and the open source. Yes, we know a lot of places, so we put them all on the map. But we wanted to go even deeper, so we asked all the people living in the city to get some more input, because we could have a bigger scope on the city. And we got several entries that we put on the map, so it got like more bigger than we can imagine, and it is still growing. And we're looking how we can go into the future, how we can maintain it or make it in a different way to also keep the secret character of it. So we're looking into that. Maybe we'll do some workshops, map making with children, because they have a whole different view on how the city looks like, and that are some of the possibilities of what we'll be able to do with it.
Okay, thank you, Simon, very much for this joyful project. For those who want to stay safe, though, be very adventurous. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye bye. And Helsinki is presenting or showcasing smart way to not to give up and bring designers, artists, musicians, people virtually to get together to celebrate. So watch the video. Can introduce Hanna Harris, Chief Design Officer at City of Helsinki. Hello, Hanna. We saw the fantastic show in Helsinki. So tell us more about the project and its spectators in the end.
Yes, hello, lovely to be with you. And I've only started in this role literally 2 days before the pandemic hit. So I hope to meet you all one day. But we, as you saw, stayed virtual in the video too. What you saw were images of virtual Helsinki, which is a digital twin of the city centre and a VR city experience platform. It was launched a couple of years ago as part of the city's kind of digital strategy, and also various aims at promoting sustainable tourism, together with a VR studio zone. What you will find there, and you saw some glimpses of those places, are various bits of architecture from the city, urban nature, little islands you can visit, and so forth. But one of the most iconic spots is the Senate Square, which was featured in the video too. It's the oldest part of central Helsinki, which you've probably visited if you've been here. And it's the beautiful Empire Square, loads of landmark buildings around the square designed by architect Carl Ludwig Engel. And what's really interesting at this moment in time and throughout history is that this kind of stately square has at the same time been stage of various events of collective joy, protest, numerous very historical concerts, events in Helsinki's history have taken place there. And of course, this tough spring, a situation now happened that this square in virtual world again has become one of the symbols of urban culture and transition and how we might collectively move forward. So the two events you saw glimpses of, 1st of May in Helsinki is a very special time. We've had a long, cold, dark winter, and literally the whole city is alive. Everybody from toddlers to pensioners want to go out, have picnics. It's a kind of a collective, massive sort of event that everybody goes out. And obviously we did not want this to happen this year. Situation in Helsinki was looking calm already then, but we wanted to make sure that people stay safe and at home. So this platform, Virtual Helsinki, was transformed into a VR concert platform, and this concert was staged there with JVG, a Finnish band. And a month later, on Helsinki's birthday, 12th of June, Alma, a very famous pop singer here, staged her own bespoke event in the same space using Senate Square and various other spots in the city. And as you saw, we were able to create this moment where collectively about 1 million people were celebrating at home, and at the same time, of course, getting a glimpse of the city in general. And of course, the immediate aim here was literally to have some joy, but stay home and stay safe. What's interesting, of course, in a kind of larger, longer perspective here is that how events and culture and city spaces will develop together in the future, because obviously this pandemic has been a huge hit for city life and culture, and various, for instance, music events. And Helsinki has a strong track record of festivals in general, including, of course, Helsinki Design Week, which, by the way, will still take place this autumn in slightly different forms to normal. But it's important for us how we use the city space for these things, and hence it's really important as we move on that we involve architects and designers in looking at also not just how we use the space itself, but also virtual modes of it and hybrid modes. So this is something that we'll be looking into as well in the future.
Great, sounds great. Thank you very much, Anna, for this spectacular design and show and community welcoming. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, and finally, I would like to finish the session with Kaunas case, Culture to Courtyards, which is less about conventional design, but more about designing community and building communal spirit with the help of performative arts during the lockdown. So watch the video.
While theatres and concert halls are silent, culture can come to your place. Kaunas European Capital of Culture 2022 presents Culture to the Courtyards.
And now it's the high time for us to closure, and thank you all for being with us. Thank you for watching the session. Thank you, my team, and all the colleagues from the Cities of Design family. We had so many good and nice examples. We dare even to exceed the time. So thank you for all the spectators and listeners. And let's not forget, the power is in the network and networking. And let's design for better together. Goodbye from Kaunas.